got to interview such amazing people. Well, one of my favorites from that was a guy named Truett Cathy. He started a company called Chick-fil-A restaurants. And I asked him, I said, hey, I want to be a billionaire like you. What do I do different? And he said, that's easy. He goes, stop planning. I go, what? I go, that goes against everything I ever learned and taught. He goes, well, last year you had a lot of plans. I go, yeah. He goes, how'd that work out for you? He goes, 5 years ago you had a master plan. He goes, I guarantee you hit a goal from time to time because you're scrappy, but it didn't go as you expected.
Because you're scrappy.
And I said, I go, what's the secret? He goes, look for and capitalize unexpected opportunities. I go, give me an example. He says, if I'm on the sofa and I want to get to the end of the street, that's my goal. I have to have stickability that I keep my eye on the prize. He goes, I get off my back and start moving towards that direction and look for opportunity. He goes, did a kid leave a skateboard or a bicycle out I could borrow to make my journey short? If I get lucky, I'll wave down a neighbor driving by and hitch a ride. He goes, either way, I'll get to my goal. I'm just not so caught up in exactly how it has to transpire.
Wow. Because, as you know, Greg, rarely did the plan that you had set forth, does it ever go that way? Rarely.
I don't know
if ever.
I don't know if it ever has. Again, I get to sit down with the most impactful people that change your world, and not one of them has told me that story A to B. Every single thing has a thing. Steve Wozniak, he started a company called Apple Computers with Jobs. And I said, how did you guys create so much success? And he goes, we embraced our lack. I go, what? He goes, it makes no sense. He goes, well, we embraced what we did not have. And I said, give me an example. He says, when these little microchip processor things came out, he goes, they were so expensive. He goes, we could only afford one of these little chips. He goes, Jobs sold his car. I sold my calculator. We pooled our money to buy one. He goes, but Hewlett-Packard, IBM, they'd make machines that go from A to B with 20. They had all the money of God. He said, I'd pull away 5, get it go from A to B with 15. Pull away 5, get it to work with 10. Eventually, I found a way to go to A to B using our one chip. He goes, we weren't trying to be innovative. We could afford one freaking chip.
Yeah.
But by embracing it as an opportunity, I found the shortest, cleanest path. And by doing that, we changed the way people do personal computing forever. He goes, where could you be right now in your own life and business if you stop looking at something as your greatest challenge and obstacle, but it could just be your greatest blessing and opportunity?
Yes. We'll use my Real Deal Wellness. I opened it in the same showroom because of the thing that was going wrong with Real Deal Sleep. It came together.
That's right.
And now this is our lane.
Correct.
I'm now operating in my lane that God designed me to operate in the wellness space.
And if you had to fast forward one of those cameras that goes, and you see it, from beginning to now, and 3 years from now or less, you're going to see this picture of this little warehouse out here and sleep stuff, and it's all going to be transitioned to physical therapies and people helping each other, chiropractic and wellness centers of the whole bit. That is the evolution in which you're going, right?
Correct.
So the whole idea is to see that. Unfortunately, most people, the same story, Truett Cathy, from the sofa to the end of the street, they plan. And as soon as they go and they don't step on a crack, they break your mother's back and follow the process, and a sprinkler comes on, it goes against plan, they run back home. He goes, the whole idea, look for it, capitalize on what you don't see coming. But the best thing about meeting him out in Atlanta, I got to go to his place of business. He said, what do you think of my sandwiches? I go, I've never had one. He goes, change that right now. Walked down to the kitchen, and he made me my first Chick-fil-A sandwich. It was pretty cool.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so keep going with this, man. I really like this a lot. Like, this is so. What about a big business plan? Do you have to have one of those, don't you?
You've got to have a vision and a mission and a direction in which you're going. Absolutely. But
like, what's the most important thing for an investor? Like right now, Real Deal Wellness, I'm fielding investors that want to invest in this dream that we now have on the table here of making wellness affordable and accessible to everybody, changing the game, creating a health and wellness movement. Here's the dream. Yeah. Here's the mission. What else do I need?
You and I have talked about it offset.
Yeah.
And the realities are, I don't believe people are going to jump on board to invest in another wellness thing, but they're going to invest in you. Like if I was going to invest in money, it would have nothing to do with red light therapy. It would have to do with you.
Wow.
Because again, what you said earlier, I will not let you lose money. I will do everything to throw myself on the sword. Well, as an investor, that's what I want to hear. Not how much my customers are going to love to come and get this thing.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
What you're going to do, that's the answer. So I would go with the story over anything. I want to backtrack.
Yeah.
People say, yeah, okay, I've been publishing all these books, 45 languages. I have a star on the Walk of Fame.
Yes.
Honorary PhD.
I forgot to even get into your pedigree.
Listen, the president just gave me the lifetime
Lifetime presidential. Yes, I got all.
guy who doesn't know, I'm the least qualified guy to do what I do. And the whole idea, work your strengths, higher weaknesses. But I'm going to tell you a story behind it. When you do a book, you write something called a query letter.
Yeah.
Who you are, what's your message, why you're an expert, who's going to read your book. I was turned down by 268 publishers, agents, and printers for my first book before someone said yes. Every week I'd send out 8 queries and I'd get 8 rejections. 268 rejections in a row. The 269th one said, we'll do your book. All we want you to do, change the title, the beginning, the middle, and the end. I didn't take it personal. I'm dyslexic. It was like dog boat beaver car. It made no sense. And so I got a ghostwriter, recrafted it, and one quote from that book was shared 37 million times. You've seen my quote so many times that you don't even know this is my quote. And so on bumper stickers, coffee mugs, t-shirts, wall mounts, it says, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken into steps becomes a plan, and a plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. A famous quote shared 37 million times last year alone from a book that was turned down 268 times in a row. The moral is never let another person or yourself talk you out of what you know to be true.
Wow. Love it, dude. I absolutely love it. And yeah, I knew the quote now because I looked you up and I forgot to do all your with the, so you have a star on the Las Vegas.
Yeah, right in front of the Paris Hotel.
6 feet from, was it, who was it? Elvis?
6 from Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah, trust me, it's wild. You can stand on my star and watch the Bellagio water show.
Yes.
And the whole bit. It's insane. Yeah, it's one of the coolest things. And the only reason I even accepted and pushed for this thing when they offered it was because I figured, look, I'm 61 years old. My kid's 12. He's never going to go to my grave. But for the rest of his life and his kids, they'll go to Vegas and pour one out for the homie, right? There's Grandpa. So I figured it'd be kind of cool.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So now let's go back a little bit. Just go
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Go back to, where were you born? You were born and raised in San Diego, in the rough streets of Del Mar.
LA, but I lived in Del Mar my whole life. Yeah. Okay. Del Mar, La Jolla, the Casa.
How was childhood, parents? What was going on there? Like, how did Greg Reid, where did this start beginning? Like, at what point in your life, like in school or high school, you realized you weren't a good student, that you weren't meant to study? I don't know. Tell me. Go back.
Well, again, dyslexic. I barely graduated high school. I mean, I don't know how they let me out, to be honest with you. I saw my last report card. I go, how could you let someone graduate with F's and D's? But they did. So I guess back in the 80s, they wanted to get you out of school. But it was interesting. I'll start just at that 17, 18 years old. I wanted to leave and get into sales. And I remember saying to my parents, I'm leaving. I'm going to go get into sales. And my dad came to me and says, no, he goes, we'll send you to college. Anywhere you want to go. Why don't you just go ahead and even take a gap year, but once you go to college? I said, no, I'm going to get into sales and marketing. And he looked at me dead in the eye and says, Greg, you're never going to make a living talking to people.
Oh my gosh.
And then the first time I made a 6-figure income, I was 20-something. I sent him a W-2. Dear Dad, remember when you said I'd never? And now it's kind of like the running joke in our family.
But I'm assuming you have a good relationship with your dad.
Yeah, he just passed away. But yes, and it's interesting because,
But that motivated you.
No, I wasn't going to let another person or myself talk me out of what I knew I wanted to do. That's it. I mean, that's the key to, only thing I do different than most people is that I don't listen to the chatter.
And so let me ask you this, because I get, I'm a mentor and a ministry leader at my church in a marketplace ministry. So we deal with a lot of marketplace people, and a lot of the people we call them apprentices that we're mentoring. They're telling me these ideas that they have and these businesses that they want to start. And Greg, some of them are horrible, and they're all fired up about it. And God spoke to them to do this thing, but I know that it's never going to make a profit. Like it's never even going to get off the ground. What do you do then? Like
well, you don't want me as a mentor.
Do you poo-poo? Just say, what are you doing?
Okay, here's the answer. Me. Okay, a good mentor will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear.
Of course, yeah.
That's it. There's my answer. So, yeah, people don't come to me for a lot of love notes and
same with me. They stop coming to me because they know I'm just going to literally tell them what they don't want to hear.
And I just give them the perspective. I also pre-frame it. I call it the hand in the sand. So I happen to be 37 years sober guy. I'm kind of talking off thing. I don't drink, smoke. It's not my thing. And so when I was 24, I quit. And I remember I was going to leave rehab because I just didn't want to be there. It wasn't for me, but I didn't want to drink and use. And the counselors, there was a sand volleyball court, and he said, here, grab a handful of sand. And he says, why? He goes, just do it. And he says, understand this, when people give you their input, it's not to mess you up. It's just giving you input from their point of view. So when they say you should do this, say thank you very much. Don't put up a wall. Just say thank you. If it works for you, keep it. If not, you let it slip through your finger. Don't yeah but them. So someone says, I'm going to do this. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And as you close your hands, that becomes the program that works for you. So what I share with people, I say, here's your hand in the sand. Here's my viewpoint towards this.